So, hi, beautiful people. Noelle and I were really, really happy to have all of you here tonight or to this afternoon. I don't know where you are in the world, but so today we actually wanted to talk to you about fulfillment and the 6 basic human needs developed by Anthony Robbins. And we chose this subject because when you start to think by your 6 basic human needs and how you meet them, you can actually see what you would love to change in your life more easily, what actually brings you happiness and fulfillment, and what actually is more a destructive way of meeting your needs. And this can not only help in your life, but it also helps in your business. So, and today, Noelle and I, we're both going to tell you all of a bit of our story. But if you look at this group, we all are here because we changed careers. At one point or another, we changed careers, or I'm going to admit, we changed careers, or we would love to change careers because something doesn't feel right. And when it doesn't feel right, you can some people can continue for years and years and years, and maybe do it all their lives. And some people change more quickly because they can't bear the the sentiment of being unhappy and being unfulfilled. So for me, I'm a medical doctor, and I studied really hard to become a medical doctor. I actually didn't start medicine. I started biology. And when I finished my bachelor in biology, I had this really great idea to do medicine because for several reasons, because I wanted to do medicine before I started biology, but then I don't think I was motivated enough. So I did biology, and then the last lessons we had was by an endocrinologist, so a doctor who talks about hormones. And he had these pictures of patients with like these big eyes going outside because they had hyperthyroidism and like hypo. So if your thyroid is not working enough, people become slow and can't think very fast. When your thyroid goes too fast or is too active, you become hyperactive. And he talked to us, and I was like, wow, this is what I want to do. I do want to do medicine. And at the same time, there was ER, this like series with George Clooney that I like followed for years, and I loved it. True, like I have to be honest, that's what actually got me interested in medicine again, and I really wanted to do it. So off I went. I called my parents when I had my degree in biology, like, can I do medicine? And they were really cool, and they said yes. So for me, stopping this career after like starting to study, and until from the moment I started to study until I finished and I decided to stop. I don't know if I'm going to go back or not, but it's been 24 years of my life. So it's been a long time. And I've worked in South Africa in a regional hospital for 4 years, which was incredibly interesting, life-changing, and very demanding as well, because there you see so much suffering, so much more than in Europe. You see people die almost every day. And this job drained me, but what actually drained me the most was not the human suffering, which is horrible, but it was the way other people were handling it. So my colleagues or the medical staff, the surgeons, like it, to me, I didn't feel aligned with how we were treating people. And it was building up for years. And at one point, I actually decided that I couldn't go home drained. Like I was drained every single time when I went home. I was just like, I barely could move. I couldn't put my kids to bed, so I would stay in the car until I was sure my husband put them in bed. My kids are the loves of my life. So I was like, I can't keep on doing this. But, and then we're going to talk about this. That's where your needs come in. This one fulfilled my need for certainty, because I knew that every month I would have my paycheck, and we would be having a nice life apart from when I was working. So that's why it's so important to know what is the difference between success and fulfillment. Because when you looked at me from the outside, it looked like I was really quite successful. I had this career that was really good. Money came in. I had as much money, not as much, but I had a lot of money coming in if I worked a lot, but I didn't need so much. So I started working less and less because I thought that was going to help me be less drained. But so it looked like, oh, she's a doctor. She works, she has a job that is actually fulfilling, because you are helping people, you are making a difference, and you know you are. You work as much as you want, so the more you work, the more money you get. And that was successful. But at the same time, I didn't feel fulfilled. And fulfillment means to have a deep sense of satisfaction. It comes from within. Success comes from without. It's what other people see. Fulfillment comes from within. Hi, Kevin. It's something that is sustainable. It's something that is aligned, that you get when your life is aligned with what you think, with what you feel, what your values are. And it's sustainable, and it involves all areas of your life. It involves your career, it involves your family, your health, your other relationships, whereas success actually mostly involves your career. So that's why for us today, we wanted to see with you, so it's going to be quite interactive, how are you fulfilling your basic human needs? And are you meeting them, and are they giving you success? Maybe they're not giving you any success at all, or are they giving you fulfillment? So now Noelle is going to talk to you about what these human needs are.
Hi, Kevin. Hi, Marion. Hi, everybody. So when we talk about fulfillment, I can think about the time when I was a full-time mom, and I was working as a therapist, and I had my husband, I was traveling. My life felt so full, so exciting. So it was like an HD Technicolor, right? I felt like my heart was full. I was busy. I was tired. I was constantly in movement, but I felt full. I wake up every morning knowing this is my purpose. This is what I'm doing. And then when my daughters left the nest, all of a sudden, nothing made sense. The job I had didn't fulfill me as much. I had been able to put a puzzle together that made me happy. But when I took a piece out of my puzzle, it didn't make me happy anymore. I dreaded every day. I wasn't excited about getting out of bed in the morning. And I started looking for ways in which I could get over that, right? And it wasn't until I found Tony Robbins' 6 Basic Human Needs that I had a really clear lens through which I could look at my life, every part of my life, and see, okay, why am I feeling this way? What am I missing? What do I have? What don't I have? What are the things that I did in the past that made me happy and no longer made me happy? So Tony Robbins talks about these 6 basic human needs, and they are certainty, variety, significance, love and connection, growth and contribution. And all of those needs are very important. The 4 first are the ones that are going to help you survive in life. And the 2 last ones are the ones that are going to help you thrive in life, to really find fulfillment. So, but the tricky thing about these human needs is that they drive your life. Every decision you make, every behavior you have, every conversation, everything you do is to meet the needs, meet this basic human needs. but because they're unconscious, they run your life. And sometimes you find yourself doing things that you don't want to do, or that are hurting you, or that no longer work because you have this need. You know, sometimes like you say something, say, why did I say that? Or you take an action, say, why did I do that? It's going to hurt me, right? And you still do it. It's coming from a place that you cannot identify. So today I want you to look at your life right now through the lens of these 6 basic human needs. We're going to describe them. We're going to teach you about each one of them. And we're going to give you time to really go deep for a few minutes and to feel, okay, how am I doing with this special need? So these needs are unconscious. So the minute we look at them and we identify them, they become conscious and they lose their power. You can now have a choice on how we want to do that. And the other thing is that you can fulfill these needs in a positive or in a negative way. For example, when you see a child throwing a temper tantrum in the store, he or she, they are kicking and screaming and making a scene, and you see the parents, like, why are you doing this? You're embarrassed. You probably, if you have children, you have experienced that, or maybe you did it to your parents, right? And all of a sudden, this kid, what is he doing or she doing? Unconsciously, they're trying to feel they're safe. Maybe they feel unsafe. That's why they're acting out. They don't know how to ask, I feel unsafe in this crowd of people. So the need for certainty, the need for variety. Variety has to do with adrenaline, the adrenaline that comes into your body. Sometimes you're bored, or sometimes you need to feel something and you feel like, wow, I'm bored to death in this store. If I start screaming, something will happen. And you get addicted to the adrenaline of doing something unexpected. Then if you think about significance, all of a sudden, all of the eyes are on you. So this need to feel important and to feel you matter and you to feel seen, you get it from doing that, right? This child is getting it. And love and connection. It's like, okay, do my parents love me enough, or my caregivers love me enough to stay here with me and not to like slap my butt or something? Am I lovable? So this is a very simple way of seeing how these human needs can unconsciously drive our lives. And a lot of adults, we sometimes still do throw some temper tantrums. We don't kick and scream, but we do other things to disrupt the moment, right? So if you think about this, Iris is going to be talking about some of them, and I'm going to be talking about some of them. And when we tell you the stories and we explain this, please think about your own life. And you're going to have some time to explore your own every time we talk about one of these needs. So Iris, you can start.
Okay, so the first need, as Noelle already said, is the need for certainty. So we all humans have a need for certainty. We need to know that we have a roof over our head. We need to know that we have enough food, enough money. Depending on the person, enough money can be a very big variety of enough money, and comfort. So certainty is also your comfort. And for me, being a doctor was my certainty, and somehow it still is. So I knew for several years that I wasn't happy anymore, that I wasn't fulfilled, that I was going to work dreading what was going to happen. But I stayed because I call it my golden cage. Like, I knew the money was going to come in. I knew that I was still doing a good job, because I was. So that was my certainty. And what happened is, when I decided at one point, I consciously decided I wanted my joy back, because I felt like I was living, like life was happening around me, and I was an observer, and I wasn't actually really participating that much. And I asked myself, what is missing? What is missing? And it was my joy, fun, like feeling alive, feeling vibrant. And so one day, I got this idea of becoming a coach. Because also the other thing why I stayed a doctor is because I had no clue what else I would do in my life. I'd been doing this for, like I said, more than 20 years. I had no, like, what else could I do? I can do a lot of things, but like that was in my brain, like I can't do anything else until I started seeing this possibility of becoming a coach. And what I did then for my certainty to be met is like to see how much money do I have? What can I do with this money? How long can we survive without me earning money? And when I got this certainty that I could manage so many months, I resigned. So the other thing with me is I love variety. I love uncertainty. It's a big value in my life. So that also might have pushed me over the edge. But with certainty, it's really, really important to know how much certainty do you need in life. And is the certainty, this is a very, very big question, is the certainty that you need in life, is it imprisoning you or is it liberating you? Because certainty also means, what can I control? What is in my sphere of influence? And often we think that our sphere of influence is much bigger than it actually is. So is it liberating you or is it imprisoning you? And the other thing that is really important to know is that the higher your need for certainty in life, the less freedom you are going to give yourself to explore and to actually live. So then the next question is, and then we're going to give you time, how much certainty do you really need? What has it cost you? And also know that real certainty doesn't exist. There is actually nothing that we can be certain about, except maybe that one day we won't be there anymore in this physical form anyway. So what is certainty for you? We're going to give you 3 minutes. And how much do you need it? And how much can you let go? Let's see if I can put something, nice little music.
I can sing.
You like some more time? Okay. Okay. So did you get something on paper?
Yes.
And we'll talk about it later as well. And so the second need that every single human being on this planet needs to meet every single day is the need for uncertainty or the need for variety. And if you always know what's going to happen next, if you have only certainty in your life, which doesn't exist, but let's imagine you always know what's going to happen next, you're going to be so bored and you will create something to happen to have some variety in your life. So variety for some people, it can mean reading a book. For some people, it's enough to read a book. For some people, it's enough to watch the news. News gives you a lot of variety. It's not always very nice, but it's variety. For some people, it needs to be jumping out of a plane. There are all kinds of levels of variety. Changing jobs every 6 months. Some people need to change jobs. Like it depends on the person. And for me, I do love variety. I do love traveling. And then now with kids, we're a little bit more into the certainty, but normally before we would take a plane, not have a hotel or a place to stay. We don't know where we're going in advance. We would just go with the flow. And I love that. I still do, actually. But I also discovered that I was meeting my need for variety in not always such a good way. So until recently, if I had to go somewhere, to friends, to work, almost anywhere, I would leave right on time. Like I would leave, if it would take me an hour, if I had to be there at 8, I would leave at 7. Especially, yeah, also for my job. Like I had 1 hour and 5 minutes to go to my job if everything went right, and I left at 6:55. Like, but then if you don't find your keys or your bag is not in the right place or you have traffic, which happens quite often, I would be late. So I was not always late, but I was very frequently late. And I was always wondering, why do I do this? Why do I do this? And then I discovered that having this lapse of uncertainty, like, am I going to get it or not? It gives you adrenaline. It gives you this stress, which is actually not a very good thing because your colleagues start to know that you're often late, you get a reputation, you get, like, and when I discovered that, I was like, this is why I do it. I actually changed it. I'm almost never late again. I'm not leaving half an hour early, so don't expect me 15 minutes before the time is up, especially, but now here, yes, I'm doing it. Like I'm even half an hour early. So I'm very happy about myself. But when I discovered that, I'm like, oh, that's why I'm doing this. And I became conscious of it. I changed it. And it has actually changed. It has made me so much calmer. So now I'm trying to choose my variety with things that actually feed me instead of drain me. So every time you are meeting a need, ask yourself, does this feed me or does this drain me the way I'm doing it? And often we don't know we're meeting a need. But like if you're doing something that is out of character, ask yourself, which need did I try to fulfill here? And sometimes you will be surprised. So for example, in your job, how are you meeting this, trying different platforms by doing your reels every day and trying new ways of doing your reels? You can talk to people about your business. That's a big source of variety, because it's very stressful to talk about your business, especially if you're starting to people that you know or that you don't know. But it's an exciting stress. It's actually something that is going to propel you forward. So you can also meet this need for variety by procrastinating, because it makes you feel stressed, it makes you feel uneasy, it doesn't give you calm. But again, when you do it, ask yourself, am I fulfilling this need? Is this a nice way to fulfill my need, or can I do it in a different way? So that's like, now you have a few minutes to think about, how are you coping with variety? Do you like it? Don't you like it? And what are your positive ways of meeting your variety? And also, what are the negative ways you're meeting this basic human need? Can also, like, on a personal level, you can also ask yourself, do you let the people around you be who they really are, or do you need to control them? Like, if you let them be who they really are, there's going to be so much more variety in your life. Or there might be, when you try to control them, they might get back at you, and it might not be very pleasant. It might also be a way to have variety. If people are angry with you, it also gives some excitement. If
And
you get
adrenaline.
angry, you also create variety, because you change your state and you never know how the other is going to react. So it's also a way of meeting your needs. And then it also needs, like that, but that's Noel is going to talk about. But when you're angry, it also meets your need of significance, because you become very important. So you're meeting two needs with a destructive behavior, but you fed yourself in a negative way. And now I'm going to let you think. And so the next question is also, how can you try and think, maybe you won't find the answer to that today, maybe you will. How can you transform your negative ways of meeting these needs into something that is actually going to propel you forward? To reframe it into something that will help you. Hey, Marian, if when you're finished, just let us know. Okay.
Okay. So now we're starting to see how the need to meet this needs it's something that happens without or outside of our awareness, right? So now let's think about significance. What does significance mean? It is, or what is this need? Is we need to feel we matter, that we are seen, that we are important. And we can meet again this need in a positive or in a negative way. For example, we all know people who have done amazing things with their lives. They have changed things. They have changed history. They have created products that save lives, or they might make people happy, or there are ways of finding significance that are really positive. But then you have the people who don't know how to be great, and they go and they kill John Lennon. And that gives them a sense of significance. People who do really bad things in order to become famous for a little bit or for a long time, right? So this need for significance is very, very, very strong. For me, I have to say that when I talk about the personal life, becoming a mother, it gave me so much significance. All of a sudden, I felt I really matter. I was needed. I was wanted. And my kids couldn't live without me for a while, right? So it was amazing. And having them in my life gave me this sense of importance. But what happened when they left? All of a sudden, that need of feeling important, I wasn't finding it in my job, because my job was something I was doing. I loved it. But my significance wasn't coming from my career, it was coming from my personal life, from motherhood. So what did I do? I kept trying to be significant through my daughters, and I suffocated them because I wanted to matter to them. I was too much in front of their face. I was too much trying to be important when they needed to cut a little bit the umbilical cord and start connecting like at a really deep level with other people too. So sometimes the need to be significant, or any need, you can meet it in a way that is really positive for a while, but then you outgrow it. So the fact that you were meeting a need in a way that was great, but now is not great anymore, can also happen. It's not that there is only good or bad. Sometimes there are just expired ways of doing things. Like the defense mechanism, you need to upgrade the way you're going to be significant. For me, finding a new career, a career that I was so excited about, I could do something, the coaching, the being seen, being on social media, having thousands of views in things, like being a part of society at large. That gave me a more adaptive sense of significance for the moment I'm living at right now, without making the people around me suffer. So now I want you to think about this. It's like, how are you getting significance in your life? Is there significance something you're meeting in a positive way? In a way that is hurting you? When you have a job and you have this big title and you're in charge of so many people and you love that part of it, it makes you feel important, but it's killing your relationship, it's killing your personal life. You don't have to travel, you don't have time to take care of yourself, your health is suffering. Then that's not a very good way to meet your significance right now. So now the question is, just think about this. You have a few minutes to write it down. So how are you meeting this need for significance right now? And how can you change it so that you can feel better about it? So that you can start getting closer to feeling fulfilled, that these needs are being met. And let us know, Marion, when you are done.
Yes, Marion, you're finished?
Mm-hmm. That's the first one now.
So now let's move on to the need number 4, which is the need for love and connection. That is the need to feel you belong, that you're a part of something bigger than yourself, that you find this sense of camaraderie, of being more than you are. And again, we can meet this in a positive or in a negative way. And here is when things get a little bit complicated, because these needs, sometimes they can fight with each other. So let's say you're in a beautiful, committed relationship. You're happy with your romantic partner, with your husband, with your wife. And all of a sudden, you have no variety in your life. And you're feeling bored, and you're feeling stuck. And you're not feeling the adrenaline rush you used to feel. And then you go and you meet someone at work or at a bar or a friend of a friend, and you get into an extramarital affair. A lot of people cheat on their spouses, on the romantic partners, because they need this sense of variety. They need excitement. They need the exhilaration, the adrenaline. So what happens is that if variety is not in check, and now you look variety in a way it hurts your love and connection, which is really important to you, then here is when you have to be, that's why it's so important to be aware of every single need. Because these needs, we're telling you like this so you understand them, but they start interacting with each other. They start affecting each other. But the more aware you are about each one of these needs and how you're meeting them, the better whole you're going to have of this. So for me, again, like becoming a mom, having a family, wow, instantly you belong to a group, you can be yourself, you feel loved and connected with all of these people. But sometimes that's not enough. You need to be loved and connected and feel something with the people you are doing your career with. Like for us, being in these communities, and they ignite you in legacy and this and that, like finding that love and connection with people who have the same dreams as you, that is not necessarily your family, but it becomes a family. I know Dean Graziosi and Tony Robbins, they talk about family. We're a family. And I really, truly believe that what we need, and now when COVID hit us and we were all isolated and feeling so detached from everybody, like looking for communities where you can feel love and connected, and you're going to be closer to some than others. But doing things in a group, for me, being able to be an entrepreneur now, but feeling that I'm a part of a group of entrepreneurs who are going through the same up and downs I'm going through, that can help me out in moments of need, that they have my back, it's a life changer. And that's why I was a solopreneur before. I tried different things. I'm an artist. I had a flower business. I created pillows and blankets. I sold things. I'm very artistic, but I was always alone. So my business wasn't sustainable because I didn't have the love and connection, and I ended up abandoning it. But this time around, being a part of a group of people like you, where we are building this together, we have our own independent businesses, so we don't need to agree on everything, but we are part of something larger than me, it made a big difference. So now I want to ask, how are you finding this love and connection? Are you finding it at home? And are you finding it in your career? Because finding these groups, these communities, this sense of belonging, where you can lean on people, it's going to make your career way more successful. And it's going to be not only successful, but enjoyable and fulfilling. So now the question is,
in progress.
And now the question is, how is this need for love and connection being met at home, in your private life, and also in your career, in this new beautiful thing you're creating for yourself? And you can let me know when you're done. Are you done? Yes. So now we're going to talk about, now we have the last two. And these two are the ones that can take you from surviving to being really fulfilled. And I think when I look at our groups and our communities and the fact that we are adults already, and that we are of a certain age, we're all different ages, but that we have life experience, is that this need for growth. If you look around right? Nature, it's either growing or dying. There is no thing in the middle. And being stagnant, not growing, not trying new things, not playing outside of your comfort zone, not playing full out, not paying attention to what you need, what your heart really wants. How can you impact more lives? How can you serve more? How can you become a better version of you? I truly believe, I'm passionate, very passionate about working with people 50 plus, because I think at age 50, something happens and a lot of people stop growing. They feel this is it, I arrived, and they give up. And when you stop growing, when you give up, all of a sudden, you start acting in ways that are going to hurt you. There's no vibrancy, there is no happiness, there is no joy. So in growing, all of us here, we're all changing careers, right? We're all starting something new. We had a dream, and now we're trying to turn the dream into a business. Maybe we're more or less successful, but are we being fulfilled? How many new things did you have to learn to be here? I know for me, being in front of a camera, today I didn't figure out how to put the background, the Ignite You background. I'm growing, I'm learning. I know what my dream is. I know what I'm capable of giving. I have so many years of experience, studies, degrees, so much to give. But I'm learning, I'm constantly learning. Last week, I went viral twice with my reels. 54,000 one time, 15 or 16,000 another time. How did I do that? In November, I didn't know how to make a reel. At Legacy, Dean said, you need to do one every day until the next time we see each other in March. I did them every single day, nonstop. Nothing was happening. I was sad. Helen came to visit me. And one night I was like, I don't even know if I want to go to Legacy tomorrow to drive to Arizona because I have no views. I have been doing everything Dean told me and it's not working. I'm so pissed off. I was in tears. Helen gave me a big hug. See, community, belonging, love and connection. With that hug, she told me everything she needed to tell me. I don't know Helen from 30 years. I met her last year in a community like this. And she gave me a hug and she said, you got this, Noel, keep on going, keep on doing it. And a few months later, I'm going viral. I have people flooding into my Instagram and my Facebook every day, 10, 20, 30. Why? Because I was willing to grow. I was willing to be uncomfortable. And I had a community I could lean on. And I wasn't getting bored of this because I have variety. I need to learn Reels. I need to learn Facebook. I need to learn how to put the damn Ignite You thingy behind me. I need to learn how to do a Zoom link and have people let them in. This is all growth. And if we keep on going like this, we will never get old because your spirit does not get old when you're growing. So when you're feeling stuck, if you're scared, if you don't know how to move forward in your business, lean on your community, find a community. You have it here. Ask your friends for support. Look how much you grew. We were talking to Iris a few days ago, preparing this talk. And we said, remember when we met in an HTA group? No, Project Next Level group, like 3 years ago. And now we're speaking and we are on stages together. That's growth. That's what keeping us alive. My life right now, I have some really big challenges, but this is keeping me alive, the change, the growth. So what is keeping you alive and young and engaged with life? How are you growing and how can you find new ways to grow, to connect, to have variety? And all of a sudden, all of these needs, they start getting together. And the more needs you are, or they're being met, the happier you're going to be, the more fulfilled you're going to be, the more joy you're going to find. So now let's take a little bit of time to write down how is your need for growth being met right now? What else can you do to feel this vibrancy in your life? And now I turn it back to Iris for the last one, the need for contribution.
Yes, the need for contribution. It's the second one that you need to actually be fulfilled and feel fulfilled. And you can put it in several ways, like which legacy am I leaving behind? What will I be remembered for? You can also ask yourself, if I die, what would I like people to say at my funeral about me? And I think that's the biggest one. And for me, it's not as much as like, what will I be remembered for? It's also for me knowing that I have contributed, even though maybe nobody knows, but I know that I have donated money. I know that I have been kind most of the time, all the time. I know that I have put in something positive into this world. that I have contributed in a way of making our beautiful planet a better place to live for everybody. And not only for me, it's not only humans, it's humans, animals, the planet itself. If I can have done something to change this, I will die a happy person. And the other thing that for me is very important in contributing is if I have taught my children to be kind and to be the change, I will die a happy person. That for me is like, it's one of my biggest jobs, is having put children into this world that actually want to participate and want to make it a better place as well. So what is the thing that you would like to contribute into this world? What would you like to do that makes this beautiful planet even more beautiful? That actually lessens the suffering around us. That is what I think contribution is. And you can tell me with or without music, Marianne, what do you prefer?
I think I prefer music.
Okay.
I can't hear the music, but maybe it's
No?
me.
I can
No.
hear music also. No.
No music?
No. But you hear it?
Nobody?
No.
Wait.
You thought the whole time we were hearing music. That's why I could sing. So
I have been putting music every single pause.
it's not sounding. Growth. Progress is better than perfection.
That also means that when I do my meetings and I put like this whoa music and I'm dancing, that people.
That's why nobody's dancing with you.
Some more growth to be made. Oh my gosh. Okay.
I don't hear
look
you.
it up.
We
Yeah.
don't hear you, Helen.
Have you heard music? You heard the music?
No.
She has her own.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
It's
some
okay.
more research to do.
Lean on me. Let's lean on someone who knows how to put the music.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
You're muted, Helen. We cannot hear anything you're saying.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm.
So music and okay. So I put a little, how do you say that? Resume below.
PDF.
And I don't know if you saw, Marianne, but I made a booklet about this.
I saw it.
Okay, masterclass.
I have it here. Put it.
Perfect. Because then there was a few more things that I wanted to say that are in the booklet. Now I can't find them. So what you also need to know about these needs is if one behavior of your behaviors meets more than two of those needs, you can actually really easily become addicted. So again, it can be in a positive way and it can be in a negative way. For example, smoking. When you smoke, you actually meet 4 needs. When you take your cigarette, you're sure of what is going to happen. So it gives you certainty. When you light it and you smoke it, you know there's going to be variety because you are going to change your state. You're going to feel better. You're going to change your stress. You're going to feel better. And you take a deep breath. So it's healthy and unhealthy at the same time. No, it's just unhealthy. Then the other thing is, what do smokers do? They go outside and they go and smoke together. So what do you get? You get connection. So that's another meat that is met. And the fourth meat, oh, jongens, I have trouble saying this. The fourth need that is met is significance. That need now is less important because now it's not that cool anymore to smoke. But like 15 years ago, and you were smoking, you looked like a really cool person. And so there are people who think that the fact that smoking has declined so much or decreased so much is actually because the need for significance is much less met. So you become uncool now when you smoke. And that could be a really important thing for people not to start smoking anymore. So just to say, like, this one behavior is very addictive, not only because it's physically addictive, but also because it meets your needs.
Before we wrap up, it would be great if, Marion, if you have any questions, I would love to hear, we would love to hear something you figured out. How do you feel about, did you discover one particular need that is being met in a certain way? Do you need help with any of them? Is there any questions you have about this?
Yes, I mean, I could answer the questions, and I was before asking this question myself, but not in this deep like I did it now. So I don't know if I can.
I have one more question that you can start to think about while you're answering these questions as well. Is what are your 2 most important needs to be met? Because those actually help you also understand how your life is going. And sometimes they're not the ones that give you the most fulfillment. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. So that's also a very important way to look at your needs, is which ones are the 2 that you put the most importance in. Okay.
I think it's to be seen, to be recognized and be seen, and somehow to be important, to have the feeling that I can change situations, that I can do, as when I work as a clown, that I can change heavy situations in light situations, because I also work in a hospital and sometimes there are heavy situations. And yeah, this is something, it makes me happy. But also sometimes with my husband, I like to be seen, and then it's different. So yeah, it can be this and this. Yeah, but I think that's my most important needs. And also I need security, but I also need to be, I love it to be unsecure. Like, I don't know, sometimes when I go in the hospital and I open the door as a clown, I don't know what I have to do. And I love this, just to come into a situation and then see what I can do. So I train this a lot, to be safe in unsafety. to feel safe in insecurity. So yeah,
That's great.
yeah.
That's a very positive way. And is there any way you feel one of the things that is really cool is when you can combine the significance can turn into contribution also, because I think you're contributing a lot.
I
Right?
don't know this word contribution. What is it?
Is that you're giving a lot.
Ah.
Contribute is the last need we talked about.
Mhm.
And it has to do with giving, is the legacy you're going to leave behind. And the fact that you can go and make people who are sick happy, and it's a big contribution. Also. That's, you feel fulfillment. You probably feel a lot of fulfillment because it's not just being important, you're also giving, right?
Yeah.
A lot, you can change. You said that you can change something, you can change a state, you can change the way someone is feeling.
Yeah.
So that's great.
But I also need some financial security, and this is where I am right now, because I love to do this work in the hospital, but it's not possible to make a good living with this. We get paid, but not so that So I'm working part-time at the moment in a school as a teacher. But this summer, when the new year begins, the new school year, I quit. So I have to make money with other things, and I don't know now how. So it's safe somehow because I get some money, and yes. But so it's also scary right now a little bit. So I have to go and do more comedy, and yeah, I like to reach more people. And also I was thinking about first my daughter, that I do it for mentally ill people, or that for daughters from schizophrenic mothers. But then I thought, no, it's too close still. I don't like to work with this dot. So it's also where I have so many questions, how I built my course, my English. I don't talk so much in English. It's more,
You talk perfect, and none of us are English speaking. Like, I'm Spanish speaking, and Iris is Flemish speaking.
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I was working a lot on my course, but I'm still there. I'm unsecure how to go on now. I was writing a lot, but I'm lost a little bit still. So because I have the feeling also, I just like to be on stage and do comedy, and not do it in the internet. I love to do videos, but I don't know, so many questions.
Are you putting them out like to other people than just the Ignite group?
Sometimes in the group with Dean, but I don't put it on my Facebook time. I have to get over this border still. Yes.
What is keeping you from not doing that?
I always think, oh, my friends, when they see this, I don't know.
Don't you think your friends know?
Yes, they know, but I don't know. I'm not so sure what it is that's still stopping me. Yeah, maybe the quality, that I think it's not good enough now. Maybe that I'm not sure which character I take, and how I have 4 characters, 4 clown characters or comedy characters, how they interact with each other. So, but now in summer I will have more time. Maybe it's good then.
Because the question is, how do you think you're going to figure it out?
It's a good question. I don't know. Maybe it's good to have a group like this, or a person who is saying, okay, next week you have to do this, and next week you have to do this, just to have somebody who is encouraging me, helping me. That's what I'm.
Marion, what happened to me? I wasn't doing it. I was terrified. I thought my brothers my thing was my brothers. When they see me doing this, they're going to think I'm the most pathetic, ridiculous person. They're going to mock me for the rest of my life. I'm 55, the other one is 57, the other one, and they still mock me when they're together. And I said, I'm not doing it. But then by doing it, it's like, it's hard at the beginning. Then you get used to it. Then you don't care. Then you see the reaction of the people and you start adjusting and you get better and better and better. And some days you do great and some days you don't do great. But let me tell you this, Marion, when you start stretching yourself, when you start really playing outside of your comfort zone, you start growing in a way that I cannot tell you the level of fulfillment I'm feeling right now. And it's not that everything is going well, but there is something about being able to see the fears. They're coming up more and more and more because I'm stretching myself so fast and so much. But then you look at the fears and they go, psst, because these are mostly fears that we have from when we were young. And our young minds were like, oh my God, if I do this, it's the end. It's not the end. You're so good, Marion. Can I be your one person that tells you do one each day for the next 90 days and see what happens? Really commit to it. So what if someone says what you are I can't imagine being a clown and going to places like you're already ahead of the game. So go for it. My only recommendation is that when you go for it and when you understand the importance of this need for growth and what it can give you, the type of fulfillment, and it's just not worth not doing it. Just go for it. Just go for it. Are you going to go for it?
I'm going for it. Yes.
Okay. So
yes, and you can put your little, if it's like less than a minute, you can put it and on Facebook and on Instagram and on YouTube Shorts and on TikTok. So
yeah, but I'm just happy that I can figure out how Facebook works.
I know, but once you've made your little video on your phone, you can put it anywhere. You know, like you will figure out Facebook, and then maybe a week or two later, you'll figure out Instagram. And you know, like it doesn't take to post it. It doesn't take a long time to figure it out, and then you can just like when you've done one, you boom, 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 and 10 minutes later it's gone, and you're like, oh, but it's nice.
We were all where you're at right now a few years back or months back. We had no idea how to record, how to that's the cool thing about this group. We had no idea. We are experts in what we do, but we're not experts on social media, how to record, how to edit. You learn as you go. There's YouTube. You can say, how do I do this? You can ask us. You have us. You have the group. Go there, ask us questions. If you're unsure about the video, put it there. And when we tell you it's amazing, go post it. We're here for you. And
the second thing is sometimes I think I'm so chaotic. I don't find my videos anymore on my computer. And that's also something I really have to clear for myself, how to organize all my stuff. And yeah.
do it on your phone. You learn to edit on your phone. It's really easy. If I could learn, anybody can learn. And then you go and you post it. Ask a 12-year-old to help you. If you know anybody between the age of 9 and 15 or 20, they will know how to do it.
Yeah.
So it's just recording it. You're so creative and you're so funny. Just create something, tell a story and see how it goes. And your audience is going to tell you if you're touching on what they need or not. And we cannot know, even if we want to be perfect, you will not know what people need until you see the reaction. There's no other way.
Thank you. Yeah. So 90 days. Okay.
Go 90 days. Make it a priority. And you don't need to be amazing. Maybe one day is a tree and you say 2 words, or you see something funny and you record it and you put it there. So you get into the habit of speaking, but also act of knowing, okay, every day I will do this. Imagine you want to change lives. You love that change. That's what makes you super happy. Imagine the amount of people you can change their lives on social media. You can change, maybe not a full life, but the day, the hour. Every time I see your videos, you crack me up. It doesn't matter if I'm in a bad mood. You make me laugh, like with tears. So you have that effect on people. Don't hide it.
Okay.
Yes, she, like, please look at the recording, because like we talked about all of the human needs and how you fulfill them or meet them or fulfill them. And we also give some time. I don't know if you saw the workbook. There's also a workbook where you can fill it in.
I went through the workbook briefly when Helen messaged me. I was out. I picked up my son and I was out, and I checked that quickly. And then I came back home at around 7 and had a challenging wobbly, which I dealt with. Then I had to drop someone, thinking I've got time. And unfortunately, it was when it was live. The CT and UK keep throwing me. Is there any way?
Always 11 a.m. PST, always.
But I've got so many calendar invites, and it all kind of like gets hard to juggle. Is there any way calendar invites could be sent? It just goes straight to the right time in the calendar then.
We'll have a look into that.
Yes.
I'm going to write it down.
Messages, because sometimes we know we delete and distort and generalize things, especially when things are going on, as much as we try to do the right thing.
Okay.
Only
I know.
So,
we know you tried.
I know.
Calendar link, right?
Yeah, because it just means everybody has the right time, and it's about 22 people, so we all get the calendar link, and then just say yes, it's accepted. It stays in there, and we'll be able to plan better. Thank
you. I will put it in the group, and we'll see how we can arrange this. It's a good idea.
Very good idea. And you know what, when you watch the replay, if you have any questions, you can ask us in the group and we can respond. And we can have, or maybe perhaps we can have a follow-up session or something so that you can get this. I think it's such an important thing when we started talking about this, right? The success versus fulfillment, and why we all change careers, because we wanted to find fulfillment and what that means, and how when you look at your life through the 6 basic human needs, all of a sudden it gives you a framework to see, to identify what's not working in your life, the needs that are being met by certain behaviors or certain things you do, decisions you make in your life. And once you identify and you become aware of this, that they are usually running your life unconsciously, you can all of a sudden be in control of these things, and you can start changing things around and make your life more fulfilling, more balanced. So I think you're going to really enjoy the presentation, and please feel free to ask any question in the group. We're going to answer it and help you with whatever you need.
Just one question from Marion. I've been using CapCut now. Helen was able to help with that. And slowly, it takes time because it's fiddly, because sometimes you can't find something. I have to YouTube it and find it. And I put one with my logo at the end finally, and a music, and captions. 3 things. Finally, I figured it out. So you do that. So once it's on CapCut, can you use that same video on all the platforms you're saying? So
you can download it. You can. There's a little thing at the end. Download, and then it comes into your, I think it's Google Photos or whatever, and then you can use it for any platform.
Okay.
Mhm.
What about Metrical? Can I use Metrical to do that as well? No.
That I don't know.
Okay.
I
I've
always
heard
use
you
CapCut as
can,
well.
but I don't use it, so I'm not sure how it works.
The other thing is I've hired someone to help with posting on Facebook, a business page, and Instagram. So the place I can post is Facebook profile and Facebook group. And because the Instagram and the Facebook business page are linked. So if one posts to the other, whatever, and I'm doing LinkedIn business page with them as well. So the other place I can post is LinkedIn profile only, because it doesn't cross over what they're doing for me. And one thing I got annoyed with in Metricool is that you can't, Canva or Metricool, we can't use to post on the profiles at all. I think from there, it has to be a group or a business page. There's no profile.
But that's
don't
nice.
think
That's what I like with CapCut. You can just download it onto your device and then upload it anywhere you want. It's your little film that has been edited, and you have the captions and everything that you've put on it, and then you can just transfer it to any platform you want.
And that's the main platform, the main profile platform. So, okay. That's a good option. It's annoying with Metricool and Canva, they don't give that option. Schedule it in advance and everything. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I hope you're going to love the replay. I'll put it up as soon as possible. And very happy to have seen you.
Yes.
We have shared this with you, because for me as well, it's been very impactful in my life as well, to start looking at it in a different way. And I also see when I'm fulfilling my needs in a not so positive way. And that's really amazing as well, because then you actually start to be able to change it, to be becoming aware, and then to change it. And it's been amazing. But it's something like I would invite you to think about it regularly, like several times a week. Like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? And then it's going to be life-changing.
Do you take special time for this? And did you schedule these times where you think about how do you?
I have time in the morning most of the time, and I'm not always thinking about it, but because it's become so much part of my life, it flips in by itself. Like, oh, it's mostly when I do things that I don't like about myself. When I do things that I'm like, huh? That's not me. Of course, I've done it, but that's not how I want to act. And then I'm like, what am I trying what is my goal here? And most of the time it's having attention, or it's like, hey, you can like start a fight with your partner. Why am I doing this? Actually, I want his attention. Maybe I can do this in another way. Like, maybe I can like go behind him, take him and give him a little kiss. That's also a way to get attention, but it's going to be nicer to get his attention that way than picking a fight. Often it's stuff like that. It's trying to meet that need of connection that you're not getting because life, and doing it another way.
Yeah, or like when you procrastinate, you have a presentation and you have time to get it together, and then you procrastinate, you don't do it, and the last minute you're stressed out, but all of a sudden you have the adrenaline, and the need for variety is being met, but in a really bad way, because it's stressful. It's not a nice thing. And maybe for me, it's like for Helen, for Iris, when I feel like, wow, why did I do this? Why did I speak like this? Why did I talk about this when I knew it was going to cause this other thing? Why? And then it's like, oh my God, yeah, I wanted attention, or I wanted to feel important, or I wanted, but this is not the way. So you start stopping yourself. And after a while, it becomes a habit. When you're about to say something, you think in advance, like, okay, if I do this, this is going to happen. Da, da, da. Okay, I'm not going that way. It's practice, but I think it really helps to identify, to look, and to become aware of all the things we do unconsciously.
Mm. Mm. Do you have special techniques also that you do? Do you emotional freedom technique? Do you do this, or NLP, or what are you doing to get faster? How to do you have a technique where you can find it out faster what's going on in you, or is it just thinking and recognizing and sitting down and writing?
For me, it's just recognizing it in the moment. I am a therapist also. I studied for that, but maybe that helps a little bit. But I think it's mostly recognizing it and the need for growth. It's like when you're growing, all of these things start coming out. But if instead of feeling, oh my God, I'm doing so bad, that's why I'm making bad decisions, or I lose my temper here or there, it's like, no, Noel, you're growing and you don't know. This is uncharted territory. That's why you're acting in a way. Let's figure out what you're trying to fulfill by acting this way.
Okay.
I think there is a combination, because very often we don't do certain things because we feel we're going to do it wrong. But unless we do it, we cannot fix it. So the kind of mindset of growth versus perfection. Okay, I choose growth every day, because a stagnant life is not vibrant, it's not joyful, it's not, I don't feel alive.
Yeah.
So I don't know for you, Iris.
Yeah, for me, it's a little bit the same. It's also, I have a clearish image of who I am or who I would love to become without changing me, but like that is the person who and when my actions or what I do doesn't correspond to that, I'm like, and I ask myself, I really ask myself, why did I do that? And most of the time I find the answer. Sometimes I don't, but most of the time it's becoming aware of what you're doing, or even before you're doing it, like Noel said, am I going to do this? And not because I fear what's going to happen, because I'm trying to get fear out of my life, which will never happen, but because I don't know that if I'm going that way, it's not going to give something positive. It's going to be destructive. And that's not what I want for my life. I would love to be part of change, but out of, like I always say, out of a place of love and not out of a place of fear. So I don't want to fight. I want to understand and maybe influence people by understanding them. I'm not always very good at it, but I'm trying. But that's where I would love to go, like coming from a place of my heart instead of from a place of fear and like, So,
yeah.
But it's a long journey. I think it's a very long journey.
I have piles of journals. I journal a lot. So when I'm going through something, I journal, because sometimes I need to read what I write to know what I think. Journaling is one where you can really, that's why today we ask you to write things down so that you go into that flow. Unfortunately, we couldn't hear Iris's music. I offered to sing and nobody said yes, so I couldn't sing. And then like the flow, like going in a state of flow and realizing, but with this thing in the mind, with these lenses, and you'll start looking at like, wow, why did I do this? Like, to be really honest with yourself.
That's sometimes really hard.
But it's you on the journal, nobody's going to read it.
You don't know.
Well, you log it.
Yeah.
Or you write gibberish. So nobody understands.
Okay. So very nice sharing this with all of you. I'll try to put up this masterclass very soon, like tonight or tomorrow. And then you can all have the replay and see and start like figuring it out. It's going to be amazing. See you soon.
Ask
you
us
so
for help. You
Yeah,
have
and ask
us.
for help in the Facebook group.
Just ask for help, ask for questions. There is nothing that makes us feel more fulfilled than being here for you guys, really. You're
Thank you
fulfilling
so
a need.
much.
You're fulfilling a need. So let us do our part so we can find that joy. No, really, truly. Growth, contribution.
Thank you
Okay.
so much. It was really helpful to think about all this. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys, everybody, for
Bye-bye.
coming. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.